we're back at the shop with the 68 Cougar, and the whole tail end of this vehicle has been rusted out. And just about the time that I thought I was done with this side, start using a wire wheel and going over the paint, find another rust spot. So he wants to show you how you can't cut into the frame, so you can cut around it, and all you can do is like chisels, pliers, peel it off, use the leverage of the pliers and just tear it. And then later on, you can clean it up, grind the spot welds off, then make a patch, go over the top of it. And you can see how this whole panel going down was patched. In the wheel well area, it had to be patched. The owner of the car didn't want to buy new quarter panels, the outer half of the wheel well. So the work that was done before is already bondoed and stuff, and we have to tie into that. So we had to do minimal, heat, or the bondo would start melting. So these patches, the whole inner part is all redone, the whole tail end, little piece where the sail panel and the taillights has been welded on, and then we'll just use seam sealer to connect it. And slight spot welds all underneath here to connect the two, and it didn't burn it up too bad. But if I would have done my way, I would have just cut out the whole wheel well, tubbed it out so you could put fatter tires in it, make your own wheel well opening so it would clear the big fat tires. She would have been custom. You could have done it cheap and it would have looked cool. If you look in this wheel well area, you can see that the rear axle has been removed. It's been sent out. I got a positive traction unit with disc brakes and 411 gears. But you'll notice where the previous body shop repaired this wheel well, they didn't maintain the contour of the original body lines. So when they put the new chrome trim on there, they just had to cut it off because it didn't match. So you'll see this patch that they homemade, and he didn't want to tie into this. I wanted to kind of make like a, if you're going to do anything, extend it on like a little mud flap blended in. So when you're patching out, it doesn't throw rubber all over the back of the quarter panel. And I think it would have looked cool. Start out with fresher metal, Yeah, it was all rotted out. Water was going inside. So there's a patch down here, a patch all up in here, and a patch here. And it ties in with the window regulator. So it's pretty rusted. It should have had at least the outer half of the wheel tub, the inner wheel well. But if you did that, then this is all rotted too. That's what I was saying. By the time you cut this all out, you might as well, flare it, put bigger wheels on it. It'll look cool. I do not believe in using these kind of shackles. It does not look very high tech at all. In fact, it looks really bad, like a 16-year-old wanting to jack up his vehicle. If you're gonna do it, get the right arch length. You're gonna need a longer main leaf spring, just like down here in West Allis alignment. They could do that and bend more of an arch into it. Anytime you start adding a shackle length on it, you're putting way more leverage on everything. When you go into hard braking and she's chirping the tires under skidding, those things just go more out of control. That's why, like ladder bars and stuff and traction bars at least control axle wrap. But anytime you add length to something, it's like just putting a pipe on a wrench. You're just throwing more leverage into all the suspension, and once it starts going out of control, you're going to get more wheel hop. I don't believe it. As far as my taste is concerned, I don't know what other people think. If the top of the tire is at least right at this wheel well lip, it looks cool to me. If you have a gap like a 4x4 truck. The wife thinks it looks cool, like back in the 60s when they lifted up 55 Chevys and stuff. But nowadays, they want the car with bigger wheels tucked up inside and lower the car down. But this guy wants to go for that 60s look, jacked up. Not wearing gloves while you're working with sheet metal. When I was tearing this and I let go, then I hit right here and caught the edge and just cut the finger. It's like you should always wear gloves when working with sheet metal. Any kind of thicker glove would work. Might be a little warm, but once you get that off, now you can start bending it. Coil it up like an old sardine can. Now I gotta grind off these little spot welds, make a patch, weld it in. Should be good to go. If you look inside this frame, you'll see this device in here between the frame rails. All these cars are made out of really thin metal, and it's just like a box channel, but it's only three-sided. Once the floor pan goes over the top and this all gets spot welded together, then it makes a full square channel, which would make it rigid. But this part is in here to stiffen the suspension where the shackle is going to be bolting up, so it's kind of like a cantilever. Like I was telling you about, putting that longer shackle on here is just like really torquing the tail end of your frame. That's how they stiffen this up. These pieces are hidden underneath here, and there's always a hole. You see the plug back there. The water got in and just rusted this whole channel out.
What kind of motor is going in this car?
It's a 302. It's going to have 450 horsepower, supposedly. I think a regular flat tappet cam with cast iron heads. I don't see it happening, but that's what they promised them, and a dyno sheet to prove it. Overdrive transmission also with the 411 gears. It should go pretty good if it performs like they say it will.